Push is a Shudder horror film that is available on that service right now, and was written and directed by Justin Powell and David Charbonnier. It takes place in the 90s and is about a pregnant woman named Natalie, who is a realtor attempting to sell an old house that has been on the market for a long time. No one seems to want to buy it because apparently the people who lived in the house prior died in a murderous way. She ends up becoming stalked by a man in this house. It's a home invasion style film. The production design, set design, and everything around its style are sensational. The picture has a properly spooky looking graveyard in it. The house feels dusty and isolated in just the right way. The way the film is shot is very well done and does a great job of being loyal to its 90s aesthetic. I also like how well the picture builds the tension. When you first see the villain, his face is covered in shadow just enough that he remains a kind of mystery. But Push is a slave to all of the cliches we've seen in so many horror films that came before it. I love how the film builds up, but when things start happening, such as lights going in and out, a music box playing randomly, and somehow a piano being played, it does a great job of signaling how ominous everything is, like it could be something more haunting. But no, it's just your basic home invasion picture. The two most obvious films that came to mind for me while watching this were Inside from 2007 and Mike Flanagan's Hush from 2016. Push is a slave to so many tropes that it feels trapped by them. When you see our heroine walking down a hallway and the camera shifts perspectives to her left for just a second, when it comes back to the previous place it was, you know that there is likely something or someone at the end of the hall. That's where the film begins to lose its interesting premise. I like this house a lot, and it gave auras to it that it could be a third character in this story. There's an elevator in the middle of the hall on one of the floors. There's a mysterious tunnel that we want to know what's beyond it, but they are only used as set pieces for the chases that occur. The villain is actually really good though because we don't know anything about him. Too often, films that have simple premises overcomplicate themselves with odd backstories about their villains, but this guy is mostly an enigma. There is some slight explanation late in the film, but it is cryptic enough that it does not detract from how mysterious his aura is. How does he know this house so well? Why is he obsessed with this woman? Those are great questions to ask, and we don't need the answers, and we don't get them, which is a good thing. The terror of being chased by a stranger threatening to kill you is frightening enough as it is. Of course, the woman goes into labor as shown in the trailer to add to the stakes, and I was still with it up until about 50 minutes in, even though the way things were being executed was getting kind of stale. I was willing to stick with it in hopes that it would right itself in some type of gnarly finale. But unfortunately, the film runs out of material about 55 minutes in and pulls a sort of trick of sorts and gives us a location change. And what proceeds from there was just so preposterous that I began retroactively asking how certain things happened in the first two acts, and it made me aggravated with the picture. The main heroine has a tragic backstory about her pregnancy, but it doesn't lead to anything or have any purpose to exist in the movie. Usually when a horror film introduces a past trauma, the horror is used to convey the thesis it wants to tell, whether it's how we grieve, or moving past a trauma, or something. But there is none of that in Push. I guess it could be used as a metaphor for bringing a child into a hostile world, but a mother's love will help guide you through that. But that is pushing it as far as I'm concerned. Pun intended. I think this could have worked out so much better as a short film that was around 45 minutes long. It felt like it was originally pitched as a short film and they made it feature length. The house is so good and so is the mood of the picture. But throwing in so many boring cliches as this film does makes me not feel the tension as much as I would like it to. Add in the idea that I think our villain teleports at least 4 times, and that ridiculous last act made me end up not caring who lives or dies. There is a post-credits scene I enjoyed quite a bit. It gives the potential for more universe building with this house, and if these guys decide to visit this place once again, I would really love it if they could spread their wings more. If you're going to do cliches, that's fine, but you need to have something in the film that gives it its own identity, an identity you can call your own. Since this is streaming on Shudder, I'm going to be a little kind to this movie because it isn't very long and it might give you just enough thrills and chills that you may enjoy it. But make sure you watch the much better horror films that are on that service right now, such as The Dead Thing, The Rule of Jenny Penn, and The Ugly Stepsister, all of which I have reviews of on my channel. Those are good to great horror films, but if you've seen those and you have 90 minutes to kill, go nuts, I guess. But I feel this picture Picture was a disappointment. Not a bad film, just a safe one, which no one should think when watching a film meant to invoke terror. I give Push 2 stars out of 4. Amazing visualization and a good villain are fun for what they are, but bogging them down with basic horror 101 tropes drowns out any hope I had of this being a fun home invasion movie. And that is my review. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this, please like and subscribe. Here's links to my other videos. Follow me on social media if you like. And until next time, I am Ghost.